Welcome to Cash Cuties, a super personal finance podcast where we analyze our friends' credit card statements with love. I'm Steffie Baik, and on today's podcast episode, we're going to discuss abrupt career changes, immigrant mindset, and how food content creators make money. Our guest is Lao American Saeng D. Can you say your last name?
Douangdara.
Saeng Douangdara, who is a personal chef, cooking instructor, and future published cookbook author. Announcements: if you're listening on your Apple Pod app, please leave us a review, hit follow on Spotify, and sub to our YouTube channels for the video version of this podcast. And all the links are available in the episode description below. So typically me and Fumi here talk about our finances and how we're doing. I'm going to tell you, I don't know if I necessarily have any like money issues necessary right now, but this is the first thing that came up to my mind when I was thinking about this last night is I feel like I'm doing well in the sense of friendships. I'm going out a lot. I'm having fun, meeting lots of new people in the industry, creatively, having a good time, but I'm very poor in intimacy. I'm single. I don't think I'm lonely, but that's been somewhere where I'm poor. I'm rich in clothes. I'm poor in clothes I like. I'm rich in time, but poor in time management. And I don't know, I'm trying to be poetic or some shit. I've been playing tennis more, and I used to play when I was younger. I played varsity tennis, actually.
Too.
Oh,
not varsity. I was like the lower tier, junior varsity. But
still, that means that you can play. I think so. You can rally. Muscle memory.
Yeah. It's been years.
It's been years, and I'm like, I have 4 rackets, and they're all super old. They're like deteriorating. It's like, when the white turns yellow, yes. Everything. It's like yellow mustard tones. It's antique. I could probably sell it for vintage, but really, it's just they look like shit. Now, I want a new racket, and I feel like I deserve one, but they're around $200. Now, do you think I should go buy a $200 racket if I'm not 100% committed to playing? How many times? Like I right now I've been playing 3 times a week.
Oh, that's a lot.
It's good.
I thought you were going to say it's been like months, but
it has been months, but it's recent that I've been playing more often.
Okay.
And I like it.
Oh, it brings you joy. And
yes. I'm joyful when I play. I feel good.
Yeah, then I say add to that feeling, and that's a new tennis racket. So why not?
200.
Why not sell? Are you okay with giving those away or selling?
Yes, I need to make space.
Yeah, I would say that.
Okay,
I think that's the key.
I have one too many like things of everything. I like collect.
Same.
Yeah. Okay.
You should not see my place.
Your
place is very nice, by the way.
Oh
my
God!
Very nice.
Thank you.
It's cozy. I feel cozy.
You feel comfortable in here? Good. That's what we want. Okay, so I wanted to ask you a bit about your background generally, and obviously this is all financial, so we're gonna go a little more intimate here.
Let's do it. I'm ready.
Do you like talking about money? How do you feel about this already?
Old me, no, but new me, like I think it's important to talk with friends, people, encourage people how to figure out this world, because money is what drives us. So I like talking about money.
Okay, good. Great.
I want more money.
Yes.
Put that out. We want more money.
We want more money. Wait, hold on. What car are you gonna get if you had an extra $5 million just dropped on and you have to buy a car?
Oh, I would have another Kia. But I think so. I'm the person that doesn't like spending money on things that can do the same thing. Like, I don't want to look like a millionaire if I am a millionaire.
Oh.
I want to be the back. In the bushes.
You don't want any of your family members reaching out to you.
That too. I think that's a huge. I could be one right now, but I don't know.
Okay, we have many millionaires in the South. So Steve from Call to Leap that you were talking about, he's a self-made millionaire.
Amazing.
Yeah, and we were just talking about how because he has money, like the check now just it just comes to him when when he orders food, people just are kind of like expecting him to pay.
See that part. It's like a lot of these new expectations are put upon you. And for me, I mean, if I was a millionaire, I'd be more than happy to, but I don't want to feel like I'm expected to.
Yeah.
I want to do it out of my heart, you know.
Yeah.
I'll give you a car, like, but don't ask for one, you know.
Yeah, it's how
I'll
you
give
feel.
you your new tennis racket, but don't ask for it.
Just talk about it a
Yeah,
lot.
Just talk about it a lot. So it's like just goes in
Oh,
there.
I'm dying. I'm dying for. Okay. So tell me, where'd you grow up?
So I grew up in southern Wisconsin. The name's Janesville. It's like 50,000 people, 2 high schools, and my family moved there after we left the refugee camps in Thailand. And that's all I've known. Like growing up in Janesville since 2, and left when I was 18. So you could think like Midwest, it's not a lot of people of color, not many Asian people. And so it was a different experience compared to like LA or Hawaii. I lived there for a bit. But I think it was a very humbling experience at the same time of understanding the world in its smaller pockets. Yeah.
Do you remember how you thought about money in that time? Like, what was like the class situation there?
Okay, so money and so my family was like poor, and we were on like food stamps and all that stuff. But at the time, like money wasn't. Maybe my parents hid it so well. I think it was because of the food. Like my mom cooked so well, and our meals were so good every lunch and dinner that we were never hungry. And so we were always like you said, like, you know, we were very rich in food, but maybe our wallets weren't as full.
Were you aware of that?
There were moments where I would be aware of it, but like for me, I think like when I think about my entrepreneurial spirit, like I have the story of like when I was in like 4th grade, right? My dad would love going to Goodwill, and I would go follow him along, and I would always go to electronics section and like sometimes just random items, and I would find like these stickers, right? And I realized they were bingo stickers later on, but I thought they were so cool, like packets of stickers, different colors. So I was like, okay, I'm buying this. Like it's so cheap, like at 50 cents for like 10, 20 pages of stickers. And I know all the kids love stickers in high school as well. So I started selling those stickers in recess. And like, you know how they like, you have a big trench coat and you open it, but I had stickers. And so the word got out. All the kids are saying he was a guy with the stickers. And eventually the teachers found out, and I got in big trouble. And back then it's like my parents also didn't know, like we just did not want to be seen. We were like already different looking, right? And so when my parents found out, they like, you know, I got a beaten, and they just told me to never sell stickers again, even though I was trying to sell them to make some money for like all of us, you know.
How innocent is to sling stickers? You could have been
Not drugs.
Not drugs. Bingo stickers at that. Oh my gosh. So do you remember what did you do with the money? Do you remember?
I don't remember. I feel like someone took it. My parents take it. Like, was it for down payment? I don't know.
After they crush your dreams of
yeah.
That's pretty young to like know the power of money there.
But I think that lesson taught me like, oh, I can sell, and I want to sell, and I want to do that kind of stuff. So I was like, that's where my entrepreneurial journey started, I would say.
I love that. I have something similar when I was younger. I was part of like a lot of like volunteer groups, and I loved being like involved in school. But they would give us like a bag of $20 of candy in a bag, and you go around and you sell it to make money for good causes. But I would upsell the chocolate bars. So like if it was $1 for a Snickers bar, I would take $2.
Oh, and you take that for yourself?
Is that corrupt?
No, I think that's so smart. Like if they're gonna make you do that already, you might as well get a little extra. Like,
yeah.
You should value yourself a little bit more than what your original price is.
So what did your parents do for a living when they came out here?
Let's see. Both my parents, they worked in factory jobs. So like my dad worked at a line factory where he like put spray cans into boxes. So he packaged that. And then my mom worked various ones, but the main one, the longest she's worked at, is like frozen vegetables. You may have heard like Bird Eye frozen vegetables. She just packaged that into boxes, and that's what they did
Wow.
from their all day, every day, sometimes on the weekends. It's definitely a lot of hard work that like knowing what they do makes me value and appreciate all the money that was brought in. And then on the weekends, we would also have to go work on the farms. And so we were like physical labor of like picking flowers for the flower market and also picking like strawberries and all that for the farmers market. And the wild thing is that, so I'm pretty sure that was illegal.
Yeah, you're fucking 2 years old.
I had a blast. Like,
You're
these
like
were
running
stickers,
around.
but at least I was to be able to like eat the strawberries I would pick occasionally, right? But I would be able to get some money from like the boss lady, and there was all Southeast Asian folk working at these farms, and she would give me like just enough for Pokemon cards, and I was happy with that because that's where I was able to like get my money for Pokemon cards or Game Boys or Nintendos. Like I was able to save, even though my parents didn't give me it directly. That was their way of giving me money by giving me work, I guess.
Oh, so they gave you, okay, so they paid you with like toys and things you wanted instead of giving you like actual money. Is that right? Is that what you're saying?
They would they would say like, oh, 1 hour for you as a kid is like $2 an hour. And so I do the math like, okay, that was 8 hours. That's 2 Pokemon cards.
Oh, sick.
And so then we would figure things out like that.
Oh, that's great. So
Yeah.
they gave you the opportunity instead of like them just taking the money. They were like, "Hey, you are working for it." So
if you want it, you're gonna work for it.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
cool. I think that's a great way to like teach kids how
Yeah.
to like. I think that's very important. Let's go into your personal chef life.
Mm-hmm.
Who are your clients?
Okay. I don't know if I can tell you
Oh.
the first ones, but I can tell you the surrounding people,
Ooh.
which will give you an idea who they were. So we can play like is it Where's Waldo or like what is it? The game where you like put heads down and there's one head left. Oh, what is that?
Yeah, that's Guess Who.
Guess Who.
Guess
we can
Who.
play
Guess Who.
So my first client was an NBA player that was very famous, and I have no clue about sports, so he was not famous to me. And the first time I understood his fame was when my guy friends are like, "You know who that is? You know who that is?"
Your straight guy friends.
Yeah, my straight guy friends. I was like, I still don't know who that is. I don't watch basketball or any sport. And so when his person he was dating came in, Kendall Jenner, then I was like, oh my God, I know who she is. I'm going to cook her some food too. I made her some Lao food. So that's my proud moment of being able to cook my clients at the time girlfriend Lao food.
Oh my God! So you got to meet her.
Yeah, we like a few times because I was cooking for him for the entire summer, so they were dating. Let's see, can you find the?
Because I don't know anything about that. Like I know Kendall Jenner. Is it him?
No, it's not him. No.
Is it him?
No, close. No.
That one's famous.
Oh.
Oh. Oh. Oh. Oh.
Do you know him?
No, but I should because this is a very nice looking man.
And so the story is that this house that I was cooking for he was my first client, and I was cooking breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It was quite intense. Like it was like my boot camp for personal. I've never done that ever before, so I had to really learn on the go. And I almost burnt down the $1 million house.
Fuck.
I was so scared.
What the fuck?
And so like I don't know if you cook much, but so there's 2 types of cooking in my head. There's cooking in the kitchen where like you have a stove and you're steaming things, you're broiling things, and then there's cooking like barbecuing outside.
That's some very American shit.
Yeah, and I don't know how to barbecue, but I had to pretend to barbecue. And so like him and his friends wanted to do barbecue. They're like, "Chef, let's go barbecue this afternoon." I was like, "Great, let me go get the hot dogs and hamburgers."
You're sweating.
Yeah, so I'm like, okay, I can do this. Okay, just turn it on. Like, the fire goes on, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna put aluminum foil on top, and like so I don't get dirty, right? And the flame is so hot that the aluminum foil gets on fire, and like it's closed, so the fire is so large that it's coming out when it's closed, and then all the friends like, yo, what's going on? I was like, I don't know. Oh my God. So I'm just running downstairs, like trying to find a fire extinguisher or like something. And I can't even, it blacked out. I don't even know. It didn't burn down. Like I was able to stop it. I think I like hit it a few times and it was the moment where I was caught. Like, I was not a personal chef in that moment. And I just told him, I was like, I'm not good at barbecue. And
Did he keep you around?
he kept me because all my other food
Oh,
was good.
hell yeah.
So just don't ask me to barbecue.
Don't
Okay,
ever.
don't ever.
Oh
If you
my
don't want a host.
God. Do not put baby near the barbecue. That is too.
So that was my first client and first experience for the
Oh
summer.
my God.
How stressful it was. And after that, I was like, I will never work for this type of person and this type of situation again, because I valued myself so low. They got such a great deal. Looking back, I was like, a millionaire, they know how to work the system, because they know as a chef, like how much they should and shouldn't, and they went so low. But it's on me as well that I didn't value myself.
Well, so how do I don't actually know how much it is. Like I talked to my friend, she did a wedding or she planned a wedding, and she said the catering was $10,000. That's all I know.
Yep.
So can you tell me a bit about prices for a personal chef, typically for like a typical basketball player who's a very successful millionaire? How much should you be getting paid if you were a professional? It wasn't your
if
first.
I was like actually had known. So
Yeah.
I would say usually for those NBA players, they have like their one chef they have year round. So it's like a full-time gig. So they should have been paying like $100K or more for the full year, and divide that by 12 then, right? But for me, it was like half of that. So like maybe 5,000 or something for that month. And then,
So how does it work? Like you go to the market, but they cover all the food
so you
part.
can buy anything lobster. They'll cover all that. It's just
Okay, but do you have to make a menu, or do they tell you what they want, or is it like you make a system?
It's a collaboration, but usually like you tell them like the day before, like, oh, this is what I'm thinking about. Do you like it? Do you want to change? Like, I'm thinking about adding some cool Lao food in there. It's like, oh yes, no. And so it's a collaboration.
Did they fuck with the food though? The Lao food?
Yeah. Actually, like they loved it. Like, I think that the interview that I did with them was actually, they said, make your best dish, and I made Lao food, and not thinking that I would get it, but I got it. And then I was like in the situation, like, oh shoot, I got a job.
Yeah. Well, I would think that it needs to be healthy too, because he's
full protein, high carb, like just a lot of food. Actually.
Oh my God, yeah, they probably eat like thousands, like a lot of food, right?
It's like 2 to 3 person per athlete.
Oh God, it's like they're like it's essentially you're like feeding monsters.
Yeah, they were monsters. They were paying me.
Have you done weddings before, or like events?
I've done events. I'm trying to think wedding. I don't think I've been asked to do weddings, but knowing what I know is that I don't want to put myself through that stress. I think what I've learned through being a personal chef is like my quality of life, and like how much stress am I wanting to put on myself, because it's like labor intensive, but also like as like your own business, like you have to figure out like the coordination, the admin stuff. So I think the largest group of people I've cooked for was 200 almost by myself. Oh. It was crazy.
What are you doing?
I blacked out, and so this is what I tell people: I black out and I become like Superman, but like chef style. Like I don't know what happened. I just like get on automation. I'm just like, ooh, and I don't remember.
Wait, have you done a cooking like one of those like Master Chef things where a competition for?
Yes, I have. But before we get to that, I just remember I did one wedding. I just remembered because I blacked out.
Okay.
And that was an incident where I was working with my other friend, so it was 2 people, and we were preparing, and his foot got drenched in hot oil. Sorry, I laugh right now. He's fine. But at the moment, it was like, we have to get the food to the wedding, but also you have to be okay because you need to go to the ER right now, because I don't know what's going on with your foot, like 3rd-degree burns. I don't know. And so he went to the ER. He left me. I was like, oh my God, I have a couple hours before to go to the wedding. So we called our other friend. She was able to come, and we drove to Long Beach, got the food. Everyone was happy. The end. He was fine.
He was fine. Did anything
traumatized, but he was fine.
The oil didn't fucking cook off the flesh. Holy shit!
Not as bad. Yeah, it was. So these are the horror stories that you don't hear, but being a personal chef and your own business, like you have to work through.
Okay, so what makes the most Well, we know these intense situations create the most drama
Yeah.
for you, the stress. But what kind of chef makes the most money? So, is it like a high-end restaurant chef? Is it a personal chef at the highest caliber, right?
Yeah.
Is it like, yeah, catering or doing events? Is it what would you say?
Like when you say chef, like, oh, do you mean traditional chef, I guess? Is that like, because can I say food content creator chef makes the most money?
Oh, really?
I mean, yeah, in terms of like not having to actually work at a restaurant, right? And that was like my switch of one of my biggers, which is the why. Like, I'd rather make more money and not have to deal with people and like all that stuff. But let's say
Because you don't have to cook for anyone but
I'm cooking for my audience.
your
Yeah.
audience who's like literally not going to actually eat your food.
Yeah, so the stress is like comments, I guess, but it's not not compared to the actual. So let's take away like food content creation. I would say the person that makes the most money is the personal chefs. If you know how to value yourself. Not knowing what I know now, I do know how to value yourself.
What do you mean by that? Do you mean by like, wait, are you talking, I'm also thinking, okay, in my head, I think that celebrity chefs make the most money because they have businesses. Like, but it might not be true because I did talk to a famous celebrity chef recently, and they were talking about how, and they have like a bunch of businesses. They have like a weed business. They also have like, and like they have, they have sauces and things, and they go to events and all. And it sounds like they're not making the most, but the business people around them are making a lot of money. So I don't know if that's only because the negotiation parts of that. I think he's successful in the way, like his like main like restaurants, right?
Yeah.
But like I don't know about all the other things, whether it.
Yeah, I mean, I think of success as like all relative because like you could be a chef, have a very successful restaurant that is taking in millions of dollars monthly, but then you have to pay. It's so expensive to even hold a restaurant. So it's like, what do you have at the end? It's just the joy of cooking and
They all seem
sharing
fucking
food.
like stressed. Like I don't understand it.
Yeah, a lot of, I mean, chefs, are super stressed. And you can imagine, like, so my stories that I share with you about the oil and all that stuff, like, times that by so much more. And that's so much stress the cooks are dealing with. And that makes me also appreciate when I go to a restaurant, like, oh, this how the food got here is probably through a lot of headaches sometimes.
Wow. Oh, who'd you like to be a personal chef to?
Ooh, this is a juicy story, too. I'm just spilling it all.
Oh, I love this.
Okay, so I actually cooked for her, but not in person for her, who I wanted to cook for. And
like she ate your food, but you just weren't in front of her.
So I don't, you might know Ali Wong, or maybe you're friends with her. I don't know. Hook me up.
I mean, she you know what, my interactions with her, she always just says, I think she knows my face maybe, but she doesn't remember my name is what I'm guessing.
Sure.
So she'll always just be like, hey there, pretty lady, which is beautiful. And I'm like, that's so smart.
She
like
said that to me too.
Okay.
So she would be someone that I would want to cook for. And so the story is back when she didn't have all of her, I think her first Netflix thing came out, and I like obsessed with it, right? I was like, oh, I love this lady. Like I understand her comedy. I want to go like support her, and I want to cook for her. And so I made a Instagram post about, so she loves Lao sausages. That's something that she makes public, that she loves Lao sausages. I was like, wow, she knows about Lao food. I'm gonna like try to get her attention. So I tagged her in a post where I did Photoshop stuff. I put some sausages on there and spelled Ali Wong in sausages. And I was like, in the caption, I was like, hey, I am a Lao chef. I can make you Lao sausages that you love, and it's hard to get access to. And so like I think it was a couple weeks or days maybe when that went by, I got a email from, was it her husband at the time? Do I say, I don't know what's for X?
R.I.P. to that.
Yeah,
relation.
that one.
Okay, yeah.
Sweet guy. Like he messaged me and just was like, "Hey, what's your catering services, or like what? How do we order your Lao food?" And so I got freaked out, and I was like, "This is my dream. I've always wanted to do this." And so I made. So at the time, I wasn't doing any catering. Like I just had ended my personal chef in the summer with that other NBA player. I was like, okay, what's the next thing I need to do? And I just had to, like, have to think on the go. I was like, okay, let me just create a catering menu. Like, if I had to cater to someone, this is how much it would be. And so I was like, okay, here's Lao sausages in there. And so I just sent them like my PDF file that I created on Canva or whatever, right?
Yes.
And like they ordered like every other week. And I was like, oh my God, because I would go deliver to their house at the time. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to meet her this time. Oh, I'm going to meet her this time. Time went by. I never met her. And I was just really sad. But I met her husband a lot of times. Yeah.
You're the one that caused the breakup now, right?
Yeah.
It was your sausages.
So now we know why, y'all. I'm so sorry. And then, so the last time I went to give them, this was years ago, to the Lao sausages, the husband's like, oh yeah, Ellie will come out next time. And I was like, oh, I wonder when the next time will be. And it never happened.
Oh man, but you know what? It could. This is just the start.
This is just the start. I know it's a full circle.
We'll talk about this, but when your book comes out, she's gonna be there, or you're gonna give her one, and then that's it. That's it.
And then I'm gonna listen to this podcast and be like, we manifested this.
We fucking manifested this. Oh yeah, do you have like a famous chef that you admire?
I don't know if she considers herself a chef, but she's been in the culinary world. Padma Lakshmi. I don't know if the pronunciation wise, but I love her. Like, she's someone that, like, her career and what she's done is like something I would love to do and like I aspire to do. So yeah, it would be her.
That's so sick. I did meet her once because she did an episode for her show.
Taste the Nation.
The Nation, and she did a Koreatown episode.
Oh my gosh, I'm jealous.
It was so cool, but they need one for Lao food, right?
Waiting,
they don't. Okay, so hey, I'm pretty sure you're the person to go to for Lao food. We're putting so much out here right now. Let's go. And I did get to meet her because Dum was the person that like was the main person showing her K-Town, and they wanted some of like the friends from K-Town. So she was so nice and also extremely beautiful and sexy. Wow. And like I was seduced by the way she was eating. Wow. Is that objectification? I was just like literally like,
oh, that's like mukbangs. You like mukbangs?
Yeah, but I don't get like turned on. When I was talking to Pat, I was like, oh my God, like this woman. Well, you know what? Powers. She has so much power. Remember her like Carl's Jr. Did you watch her commercial? That was a hot thing back in the day. She took a bite of, like, they were like these sexy, like Paris Hilton had one. All these like sexy like bombshell women were eating burgers, Carl's Jr. burgers. Mm-hmm. And hers was the best one because it was like dripping and it was just amazing. I'm such a fan. And I put that out there for you.
Thank you.
So you are writing a cookbook, which is so cool.
Thank you.
Can you kind of like walk us through that, or how the process even like came up? Yeah.
So I've been dreaming about writing a cookbook since 2019. So my themes of how I do my careers and whatnot, it's just, I just do it. I'm like, okay, I want to do this. I'm just going to do it and see how it works out. And so I would just like go Google on the internet, like, how do I write a cookbook? And so I would be having all these lists, like, oh, you need an agent, you need a cookbook proposal, you need to be known, you need to do all that. I was like, oh, that's a lot of stuff I need. And so I was like, okay, I at least can start on like the cookbook proposal. That's what's in my hand right now. I can use that. And so I started writing this really bad cookbook proposal because I didn't know what it had to look like. And so I would email these different agencies like, hey, you want to be my agent? Oh, no, we don't. Or I would get ignored a lot, which is fine. I understand now looking back, like, oh, that was a horrible proposal. But I got one lucky one where they're like, oh, you need to work on it, but I can see potential. So that was nice. So I think of that a moment where like, oh, it's such nice encouragement, just something small when someone reaches out for you for a little help that might be somewhere like beyond your career, right? But to give that encouragement because that could boost them and it will come full circle. And so I started working on my book proposal more, and nothing was working out. So I got some deals where like small like indie books wanted to have my work, but for me, I've always thought like my work is is valuable enough to be on mainstream publishing companies, and I'm gonna wait. So I said no to some smaller publishing companies, and so how my current cookbook deal came about is actually making a TikTok video and putting out in the world like, I want to write a cookbook one day and it'll be filled with Lao recipes and Lao stories. And that, I guess one of my followers was a publisher of 10 Speed who is under Penguin, and she reached out to me and was like, hey, I've been following you for a bit, love your stories, I saw you want to write a cookbook, would you want to have a meeting? I was like, of course I would, like who wouldn't? So had that meeting with their director, her, and then they actually paired me up with an agency that they've worked with before. I found my agent, and it took 1 full year to like meetings, to update my cookbook proposal, and to finally get that deal. And that deal was actually in August, like the official deal that I'm writing a cookbook.
Congratulations!
Yeah.
It was the power of social media.
Yes.
So essentially you had a following already.
Yeah, at the time I had a following. Yeah.
So okay, and it seems like you're good at like taking something, believing in it, and then just doing it. You don't need like right? Like you're like, hey, I want to do this. Has this happened a lot with through TikTok and like social media is just like putting out something that you want, and then it just kind of, I guess it's the power of numbers. It's people seeing.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I think like my social media journey, it was actually on TikTok. Like I blew up for a sticky rice video, like 30 million views, and that trickled down into like, oh, I can do this. I'm not getting money, but I can do this. I don't know what it will become. And so then that started building, and then I was like, okay, now I can ask for things in terms of like, what do I want in my career? And the book was one of them. So
How many followings? Is it about the number of followers that gave you the push? Do you think, or like, so how many followers did you have at that time, or viral moments? I don't really know what makes
like, so publisher wise, like if you want to be a cookbook author these days, a lot of big publishers do want the author to have like a following of some sort, and that's also going to give you more of a advance, which is the money they give you to write the book. So let's say your writing is great but you have a small following, they might see that your writing is great and they want it, but that means that they don't have to give you that much, even if it's so great, right? And so if you know that you write great work, and you want to be given a lot for your advance, then you should increase your following so that you feel valued when it's ready to write your book.
How many do you remember what your following was at that time?
When I got the book deal?
Yeah.
I would say like 200,000 on TikTok.
Okay, and how long did it take for you to get there? Like how I know you started content creating like in was it 2020?
When I like cuz no one was working at the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, 2020. It didn't, honestly, it took like half a year or maybe less to get to, but I've also stopped growing because the algorithm, I can't keep up with the algorithm.
Everyone hates the algorithm.
Everyone hates it, but it's fine. Like I'm getting what I need. And so it's really much time and place and where you are at in your life that it just perfectly hit for me.
Yeah. But you were able to manifest these things through it.
Yeah.
So okay, so for the listeners, for you to get to you said half a year, and were you creating content like every day? Like you were.
Yeah, during the pandemic, it was just like all my clients, I couldn't go cook for them anymore. So all I was doing is cooking, and decided to do more cooking videos. I wasn't even on TikTok at the time, but I was like, why not? Like, seems like other people are enjoying it. So I figure why not add to it? And I decided to just bring my like Instagram and Facebook content into TikTok, and like changed it up a bit and made it more TikTok-ish. And that is kind of what just at the time everyone was going viral. But you can go, so there's a thing, you can go viral for random things that you don't want to go viral for, and go viral for your career. And I was very lucky to go viral for my career in terms of like when.
So were you making any money through TikTok? Because I thought that they were giving money to some
recently. Yeah. I mean, a little bit. I mean, I've known some friends, like they'll give them like a stipend or like a certain amount to continue making content, but like for like a size of following that I had, it wasn't like for that. I couldn't get it.
how much can you make with a cookbook? Like, do you know the numbers of like as a,
Yeah, like I sort of just experience of hearing other people
Yes.
and also mine.
Yeah.
Like I've heard people get offers like 50,000, right? For a first time author. And
That's not the advance. That's what you get overall. Is that how it works? Or what's the advance?
That could be in an advance.
Okay.
50,000 could be an advance that's broken up 4 times.
Okay.
Depending on like the milestones you reach.
Okay.
Versus I've heard people make 6 figures plus.
But is that like celebrity level, or is it more the quality of the book?
Quality of the book and your following.
Oh.
Your following affects how much you're given. Because that's essentially the marketing, their idea of like, oh, they'll be able to sell more because they already have this following. They won't do much marketing.
And are they counting followings from Instagram as less or better than following from TikTok these days? What and how does it how do they correlate?
I don't know the answer to that question, but I assume it's like a comprehensive, like all. Like they'll look at all your pages and see what makes sense for them. Like for me, I have been building my pages like at equal paces around so they're kind of equal, but not so much. Like there are some content creators like they're 1 million followers on TikTok, right? But they have 2,000 followers on YouTube. And so it really depends on the publisher and where they think the book will make sense in their line.
Okay, so there's not one social media that they're like, hey, I like this better for this type of thing. Okay, and what is the most expensive part of publishing a book?
The most expensive part I learned is actually the photography.
Oh.
And so photographer, depending on who you could get a photographer that is $10,000, and I've heard people pay $30,000 for the book. And I understand, like, photography, artwork, it's what you want to be like timeless in the book. And so actually from my end, I want the $30,000. So I'm right now trying my best to work on my photography and refine it. And I'm really excited to show people what I have. And so hopefully it'll meet the standards of the publisher, and then we're good to go to just give me my 30,000.
I love that because you're also being like fully hands-on, which is you. It's very you.
It is, yeah.
Like creating your own thing. Now, so I don't understand. So once you sell the book, right? You got the
proposal. So the book is just an idea. You're selling a proposal. Imaginary proposal.
Like, and then they give you an advance for the proposal.
Yep.
And then do they buy the book or what?
I guess when they buy the proposal, they buy the book at hand as well.
Okay.
It's whatever you create. Because sometimes the book you create at the end is not exactly the same as what you originally propose. Mm-hmm. So the advance is just you buy the book proposal to whatever's created from that.
And then at the end, once you start selling the book, like once it's already out there and Amazon sells it, do you get a percentage?
Once whatever your advance was, is they're able to make that back, and then you get like royalties and like that kind of stuff.
And what is royalties? Like how much is royalties? Do you know?
No, I don't know.
Oh,
I'm going to have to look at the paperwork, but
okay, interesting. Okay, but it is like it's a percentage that people are.
It's kind of like I don't know much about television, but if you're on like
residuals,
residuals, that would
Okay, like got it. That's interesting. Let's see. Oh, do you know, compared to other books, are cookbooks more expensive to make because of like, I always feel like when I look at a cookbook, I'm like, wow, it's like the paper's thicker, the colors are more vibrant. It's like an art book at that point, right? They're hefty.
They're very expensive to make.
Yeah.
So if you think of it like a storybook versus a cookbook, so the cookbook process is like, on average, it's like 1 year for the author to write the whole book and also to produce the photography. If you're going to be your own or someone else, like that has to be provided in that 1 year. After you provide like the whole manuscript and the photos, then their team, you get like the editor, copy editor, all that, whatever else editor, they take another year to process what you've written, to see if you have to redo it, to see like is this good enough. And then it goes to printing the 3rd year. And then it's finally comes out like early the 4th year. So this is like almost 3-4 year process.
Holy shit.
So you're gonna have to ask me in 4 years how
you're gonna be a millionaire.
I'll probably ask to come back like, hey, can you talk about the book?
I know that you have so many things that you've like created for yourself. It's very impressive, and you've done it by yourself. How are you making money within that time period of all this, like, notoriety and all these things happening since the pandemic, and you going viral and all these things? Like, where's money coming from?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. That's what I asked myself when I first started. I was like, where's the money gonna come from? And luckily the Facebook fairy came down and granted me all this money. But yeah, I would say once I like unlock this, like, I don't know, their level of like, oh, here you are at this level, so we're gonna give you ad money or like a bonus. And so actually my main social media platform was Facebook at the time. Actually still kind of is. So people, so here's the secret that I'm gonna put out there. People think Facebook is dead, but it's a very Western mentality to think that. Facebook is quite alive around the world. Like, Facebook is the main social media platform, like in Laos, for like in Southeast Asia. And so that's like, for me, that's the gold there. And so my following is huge on Facebook because that's where all my people are at.
So your fans are in Laos.
In Laos, but also here. Like a lot of like I think of like my fans are like Lao moms, home cooks. They're using Facebook. They're looking for recipes. They're looking for.
I like that these authentic people are coming to you, this Wisconsin Lao American boy, and they're like, how do we make this delicious, Thai sausage with an potentially American twist? I think that's fantastic. It's its own thing. I'm assuming it's like you've created your own like flavors through that, or
no. So like I think of like Lao food is so unknown, but also there's so much to learn about it that like I think of myself as like the Lao food ambassador at this point. Like, I'm here to educate. I'm not just here to teach, but I want people to learn about the history, the people, and the food at the same time.
I love that.
And so that's kind of been, and it's always been like, for me, I've loved teaching. I just didn't know what that would look like in my career. Now it makes sense. Like, I love teaching about Lao food and Lao people while also showing them how to cook and be a better home cook.
Since you love teaching, can you teach the fans about when to use Laotian, Laos, Lao? Because I had to learn this.
It's so confusing.
It's very
even for a Lao person, it's so confusing.
Oh, really? Okay.
Honestly. Okay, so yeah, there's a lot of back and forth when it comes to like, how do people from the country Laos identify? And there's been a huge wave of like Lao refugees post-Vietnam War that came over to the United States. And though that includes Lao people, that includes Hmong people, that includes Mien people, Khmer, all above. But Western history has kind of put this label on Lao people without their consent, I guess. Is that so from the Western perspective, Lao people that come from Laos are called Laotian, right? And that term Laotian was created from the French when they colonized Laos at the time, Laotian. But before even that happened, the people in Laos called themselves Lao. And so they would say so Lao was kind of like an ethnic group, but also a nationality at the same time. So like Lao people that were Hmong, they would say they're Lao Hmong or they're Lao Khmer. So there was this whole shift once the French and the West took control and, power, colonization. And so the history books writes it as Laotian. But also Laotian can be seen as a negative term because the French created it. And also I don't want to, someone I will have to Google this, but there's like a dog reference in like Shan or like that part. And so it's a very much of a nuanced conversation because depending where you are in your identity, our understanding of your culture, because for Lao people, we don't learn our own culture and history until later in life. So probably if any Lao people are listening, they may be learning just from this podcast, right?
Yeah. So you didn't even know probably until
I said Laotian when I was younger, because that was what you had to mark. Like, oh, I'm Laotian. Check. Check.
Wow, look at this broken system. But you guys are taking, defining, bringing back the real and renaming. Well, it's not a renaming. It's naming back what you actually are. Yeah.
Because if you go to Laos to this day, they never say Laotian. Even though there's an S in Laos, they don't ever pronounce Laos. S was added by the French. And so they're all Lao there. it was only history outside of Laos that is defining. Yeah. So I would say to be safe, if you meet a Lao person, Laotian person, just ask like, oh, how do you identify? Like, do you prefer Lao, Laotian? And either, like, it's fine to ask, like,
Okay.
because I did Laotian at the time, but then I was like, oh, this makes more sense. Like, now I understand the dynamics of our country.
Totally. So from now on, I'm always like Lao food.
Yeah, so
Lao
I say Lao
American.
food. Yeah.
Learn something, guys. This is so fascinating about you and so random. You are like the king of game shows.
2 game shows.
That you won two game shows. You guys
in 1 year. Can you believe that?
Yes, I could, because you know what? You are someone who believes in something and then it happens. So I do believe it now. After talking to you, I'm like, this person knows. Yeah. Okay, so tell us about these.
Okay, so the first one was during the pandemic. This is like 2021, I think. And all my friends they were getting on Price is Right. I was like, I want to get on there too. I've always watched it. I want to play it. And so the pandemic version of Price is Right is very different because you don't have to wait in the long line of hoping to be selected. You're casted before then. So I did a casting video over Zoom, and I was picked of the 4 other people to go in and play the game. And so I didn't, you know how like they zoom out to the audience, like who's gonna play? None of that. It's just like they just called my name. I'm like, hi, it's me.
Did you have a persona when you were?
Yes, I'm crazy. So I'm very like, like that's not me, but like I had to be a crazy person because they want energy, and like that was the most exhausting day of my life because I had to give so much energy.
Were you like woo? Were you a wooer?
I was like dancing. It was just like out of body experience. And so we were playing the game, and I was just not hitting it in terms of like guessing the prices. I was like, oh no, am I just gonna be on TV and not get anything? And so it was like almost the last game, and the item that came out was like cookware. I was like, oh my god, this is meant for me. I know, I know all cookware, and I guessed the cookware right. And so I got up and got to play the game, and the game was guessing 2 different items, like a shaver and a magnetic checkerboard. I was like, oh no, I don't know these items. And so it was like really a flip of the coin.
Yeah.
I got the shaver wrong, but I got the checkerboard right. And so I had 1 key that was supposed to open one of these 3 doors.
Yeah.
And the first door was like a year supply of eggs, and they opened it like, yay, you got a year. I was like, yay, I get eggs. And then they're like, oh, you can use the same key to open the next door. And that was like a year supply of meal prep stuff. I was like, great, yay, meal prep. And then they're like, okay, just go to the end. I was like, okay. And so the end was the car, and so I put it in, and I won a car and everything else. And I was like, is this real? And so I got to the whole, like, you know, when you go dance by the car. I went to go dance by the car.
That is the epitome of the American dream.
It is.
Is going on Price is Right and winning a goddamn car.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my! Do you know how much that car was worth?
I think it was 25,000.
Did they even? I heard
It's
somewhere.
Kia.
Okay, it was like, did you have to pay a taxes or something on that at all? Because I heard that's what happened with Oprah. I don't know if that's true. Do you remember if they made you pay?
No, I don't remember. I still get confused on it. Maybe I still owe that. I don't know. I hate taxes.
Your $20,000 car right now is probably like 50,000 at this point because you haven't.
Yes. So
that is so sick.
So I got that car, but then I didn't like the car. It was just like a puny, like regular car, right? I'm not a car person either, but I knew I didn't like that car. And so I sold that car and got a better, like a mini SUV Kia. I was like, I love this mini SUV. So that's what I drive now.
Cute. Wait, hold on. Did they let you drive it off the lot? How does that work?
They send you an email and you have to go to a Kia dealer, like if you want that one, and like you'll take it home. Yeah. Oh, and I have the license plate, the Price is Right license plate, but I don't put that on anywhere. I just someone's gonna steal my car. And so that was the first game
that
show.
Is crazy.
That I won during the pandemic.
Yeah. What a wild show. You just have to guess the prices of.
I love guessing prices.
But you're good at it?
Yeah.
Do you feel like you have a gift?
You want me to guess something?
Yes. Guess. What the hell do I have?
How about your camera?
I don't even know how much that is. How much were these flowers?
Just the flowers? Just for the flowers, not the vase?
No.
If you got them in LA, they were probably like $55.95. How much?
Free.
What?
Okay, but it was free, but I do think that these are actually farmers market flowers.
For free?
Yes, I got the hookup, but they at the farmers market, this is $10.
Oh wow. Okay, y'all go to the farmers market.
Yeah, crazy. Okay, but I didn't tell you that.
Yeah.
Now we're talking about we need to guess like regular shit, not like hipster dipster crap, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to do. Okay, how much was my Starbucks?
What is that one?
This one,
cold brew or like?
Yeah, it's the grande iced gingerbread. It just came out. Oat chai.
I didn't know about that.
It's crazy. They also, I'm gonna tell you though that they increased their price twice this year, and I talked to the girl about it.
Oh, yikes! I would say that is like $4.50.
No.
How much?
Isn't it? It's not way more, but
Like $5?
this more.
6?
Yes.
Why are you doing that to yourself and not getting a tennis racket? I will make you coffee.
This is fucking insane, right?
That is insane, y'all.
There was no addition. I thought that it was like the additive. Like I was like, oh, maybe it's because I added I changed it to almond milk, and the girl's like, no, this is actually the price. She's like, they increased the price twice this year.
Me out.
How 6? It was like $6.25 or $6.35.
Yeah. So then, inflation wise, I wouldn't understand prices right now. See, that is why.
It's insane out here. You didn't go to school for cooking.
Correct.
You went to school for social work, welfare, and you actually have a master's.
Mm-hmm.
So you've gone to school for a really fucking long time.
I'm old. Well,
more than that, you're poor from.
I was very poor. I'm still poor, but I mean, in just different senses.
Different senses. You're poor in terms of the fact that you probably have. Do you have loans?
I have so much loans. There should be. I hate loans. I hate them.
Okay, tell us about like how much money it took to go to. You went to undergraduate.
Yeah, so I did my undergraduate in social welfare with Southeast Asian Studies and Asian Am Studies, and then I left Wisconsin and went to Hawaii for my master's in counseling psychology, training me to be a therapist. Then I didn't want to be a therapist, but they're like, nope, you got to keep all these loans. And transparency wise, I have like over $100,000 in loans.
Oh my god!
Like it's crazy, y'all.
Wow.
It's crazy. But I think it I flip it. I'm like, okay, that motivates me to work harder, and I'm gonna be paying this off and be so happy on how hard work pays off.
Well, I already know you're gonna pay it off pretty fast because you seem someone like you're like determined with this other thing that you're doing. Okay, I have a question about this. Do you feel like if you were to go back, would you rather just have not done any of this? Or do you feel like it's pretty useful that you have these degrees while doing what you do
like
now?
If I would give myself advice, as my younger self advice, I would say go to community college. Like, see if you like it, if you don't like it. And then if you do, then after community, go to your 4-year, just extra 2-year. It won't be that much. And then just only go to programs that will give you full rides. You don't get taken advantage of. Don't be put into the system. Be taken advantage of.
Where was it more? How much was your undergrad degree, and then how much was your master's degree?
Undergrad was it like 50,000, and then master's was like this chunk, like 60, 70, 80. But here's the thing. I applied for all these master's programs, and I got into most of them. But the one I wanted to get into, I got in, but theirs was like New York. So it was Columbia, New York. It was $100,000 a year. I was like, that's a scam. Sorry, if it's Columbia, but like, I was like, who can afford this unless your parents are like these mega millionaires?
That's the exact same thing that happened to my sister. Got her master's in social work. I think it's social work. Sorry, Diana. I don't. She's a therapist now, but she got into Columbia too, and all the big schools she wanted to go, but it was more so she couldn't afford it financially. Yeah. Who can afford that?
It's so, and they're like, oh, we can give you financial aid, $20,000. I'm like, what? was like, how am I gonna live?
20,000 in New York?
Yeah.
What would you do with 20,000? You can't even. You could barely
Yeah.
pay rent for like that's like half a year's rent or
Yeah, so
something.
it's very upsetting, higher ed. Like I was such a believer, but now it's like, do what feels right. There's free money out there. Go get the free money or go community college. Be smart.
America essentially doesn't want smart people around. They want content creators at this point because
Yeah.
how could you even afford education?
Yeah.
right? This
Huge issue. Yep.
go make TikToks and
Go
create
dance,
your own
do those
dr-
TikToks.
Go do-
I'll make 100,000 by doing this.
Now it's so interesting because you haven't taken any cooking classes.
I mean, I've taken like those like unofficial like couples cooking classes, like that type of stuff.
You mean on dates? Like you went on a date, you're like, here's $100 and it's like
go
make pasta.
Be cute.
Be
Cook.
cute. I read that culinary school is anywhere from 20 to 60K.
That too. That part.
That part. Would you give up all your degrees that you got? And I know that was like 100 to go to have gone to culinary school. No.
I've heard from friends that have gone that they don't think it's the same feelings I have towards like higher ed almost. Like they're like, oh, like it really depends, but yeah.
You wouldn't recommend that to the kids these days who are like, hey, I want to be a chef. Should I go to culinary school or should I go to undergraduate?
I don't know. I would say it has to be a true passion, and then they have to financially know what they're getting themselves into. I think for me as like a refugee coming from a place of no financial literacy, that's why I said yes to everything, because that's the only yes I could say to. They had no other option. But I think these days there's so much resources, like from you all just listening to the podcast, that these kids can listen and make really informed decisions about their life in the next 20, 50 years.
You think so? I think they're all fucked.
Maybe.
I think they're all so confused. How the hell were we? You and I went to school undergraduate for cognitive psychology, as well as pre-med. Bio, right? Like I don't use any of those degrees like at all. I mean, the psychology part was just fun. It was fun to like. It's just like, and now we're here.
we're here talking about tennis rackets.
You won Price is Right. You freaking got a car. Actually, something fucking useful.
Yeah.
I'm here buying
With your $6 coffee. You got to reevaluate these life decisions.
Okay, let's get into the analysis here. So you sent me your August statement.
I love August.
August. Is this only one? Is this your only credit card?
The one that the main one I use. I don't really use other. I just have other.
You
ones.
have other ones,
Yeah,
but
this is the main one I use.
This is the main one. Is this only your purchases, or do you have someone else purchasing things?
Nope, just me.
Okay. So I saw really quickly that 30% of it was on food and drinks.
Yep. Business.
That's right. Business. You're what is it? Taking it you're doing homework, right? Like you're
Recipe
studying,
testing, eating out.
You gotta test
meetings.
it. That's why you got donuts like 3 times.
sure
in
did.
Okay. 25% was merchandise and inventory packaging
Yes, Lao spices.
for spices. That's a lot of money that you have to spend per month to go.
Well, this is like the start up ish. Like there are months
Startup.
where I don't spend that. This is like a chunk.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then 30% was in travels to Asia.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So I noticed you bought a ticket for like $1,000, something like that. Where did you go?
Was that one? It was either Laos or Japan. Was it Laos? I think it was Laos actually.
Here
I'm
it
pretty sure
is.
it was Laos.
1,000. That's expensive.
Yeah, because it was like a last minute ish kind of ticket. So I was like, okay, this is the best I'm gonna get.
But everything else there, is it pretty affordable?
Oh yeah, it's much. You can live there.
with
We're
with
rich
the money.
We're
rich.
millionaires over there.
Okay, great. I love that. Do you have family over there?
I do, but I don't know them that well.
You didn't meet up with any of your
Not
family
this
members.
time.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it. I'm just curious if they know about your success and like what they think of
Yeah,
you.
I'm curious too. I don't I think they do. They see my stuff, but I don't know if they understand what like it relates like to money. That's the questionable part. Like,
What do your parents think about all this?
I think they were confused at first, and I think they might still be a little confused, but
They're like, how is this happening to us?
because so I take them out to dinner when I go home to visit in Wisconsin. We go to a lot of restaurants, and people recognize me. They're like, "Oh, we want to take a photo with your son," and they're like, "Why do you want to take a photo with my son?" And so I think that's helping them understand, like, oh, like he's doing something bigger than what he was doing at UCLA, right? So now my mom's like really like, yes, he's my son.
Oh, now after so 30 years, it's like, look at my son now.
Yeah,
no, parents are our parents
funny.
so funny. The head up high.
Yeah, look,
have you tried the spices?
have you tried the love?
Have you tried the love? She has an eye. The love.
French
She has a French accent now. On the 14th, you bought tickets to Disneyland for a hot $159. Is that one ticket?
Yes.
What
My sister was visiting, and her first time going to Disneyland, so I wanted to go show them Disneyland, so I bought my ticket. It's expensive.
It's so expensive.
Just for the half side. Yeah, I'm not a Disney person, but I am when my family visits.
Like, you act like it, or do you like turn? Do you like do you know what I mean? Like, do you just like act like? Because I feel like when I'm with my Disney friends, I would never be like, I don't want to take their joy away from them, so I would never be like, oh, I hate Disney. But I truly, it's not that I hate it. It's the experience of going there, and it stresses me out. Is that why is everyone supposedly happy? Is that true?
I'm just like you.
Right?
Like yep.
Or are we just depressed because all these issues, whatever, childhood, you know what I mean? Like,
it's both. But I try to be happy because of the kids, like I'm like, oh, look at Mickey, ooh.
Ooh. Okay, what's a snack you'd like to see at Disneyland that you'd make? Oh, I'm so sorry.
Snack that I would like to see at Disneyland that I want to see Lao sausages there, like just like that are cut up and just like toothpick.
That would be so good.
They would sell so much.
That'd be so good. Yeah. Oh my God, that's a good idea. How much would you charge for that?
At Disneyland, I would charge like $25 per sausage. Mm-hmm.
That shit. But that's because like their churros are like, aren't they like $11 or $12?
Yeah, something like that. They're insane over there.
Do you feel like they're overpriced? Like, do you feel like
you're paying for joy? You're paying for
but that's
manufactured happiness.
Okay, I saw 2 purchases from the SP Taylor Swift shop. One was 40. Okay, so you're a Swiftie.
I sure am.
$42.95. And another time you spent 10 days later, $22.55. That means you went 10 days and you went, it's not enough. What did you buy?
I think the first one was her sweater or something of that sort.
That was the $42.95. I missed it. Okay.
So I went to her concert in August. I'm pretty sure that was the one. And then the next one was a CD of 1989, I think, which I just got received.
Okay. Yeah. Would you cook? Okay. Would you cook for her for free? For like literally, she said, "Hey," as a Swiftie, she's like, "Hey, I love your food and your sausages. I heard about it from Ali Wong. I know you never met her, but I heard it's fantastic. Can you cook for me for like 2 days, 3 days for free?"
My immediate thought was yes, but then I said no to myself because I think I want to value myself more. Even though I think I idolize her, I think there's more. I idolize myself more than a person. Like I value myself more than saying for free. Wow. At this
Good
point,
for
maybe
you.
Back then I would have said free. I'm like no, because I buy her stuff. You can buy my stuff if you want. You know, it's equal exchange.
Okay, how about for merch? Would you do it?
I would do it for free if she were to sign something for my partner because he's a bigger Swiftie. So I want to do it for him.
Baby, that's so
the only
sweet.
way I would do it for free.
Thank you so much for coming on. That was super educational and hilarious. And now I know you're a Swiftie, and also just You got the best spices. Tell our cash cuties how they can find you.
Yeah, so if you're interested in everything Lao food content, food, you can find me at all my social medias at Saeng Douangdara, and probably something easier for just memory wise is my spices are at laospices.org. Oh, did I say org? Oh my gosh, it's not an org, y'all. laospices.com.
Wait, I love that. I love that you made it like an organization.
It's an organization.
It is. Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm on online, the Tube, Facebook, Instagram at Saeng Douangdara.
Okay, a TikTok.
Yeah. Say hello. I love interacting with everyone and meeting everyone there.
And go buy some spices so he can also pay off his debt. Come on.
Please help.
And I'm Steffie Baik again. You can find me on my Instagram, Baked Goods, BAIKEDGUDS, and my other podcast at Fun with Dumb. So thanks again. Bye.
Bye.